His career as a history professor, gave a rousing speech about the first principles of our nation, tying those timeless concepts to the wild politics of today. To keep things balanced and interesting, he was then interrogated on stage by Sam Roberts, a terrific reporter from the New York Times. A woman from the National Park Service spoke about the staff's ambitious plans for the future of the memorial, and Donna McClarty, Mac's wife, reported on the ex-senators and ex-congressmen who were already signing on. The two women helped to focus the evening. Newt and Sam traded friendly jabs. As I listened to all of this a few feet off the stage, an idea suddenly occurred to me. We have some amazing people in this country of ours, yet we live at a deeply divided time. Virtually everything is sharply politicized. There's almost nothing everyone can agree on. But maybe we had a moment here. It seemed to me that we might. When all the speeches were over, it was my turn to step on stage. I thanked everyone for coming. For what must have been the 100th time, I marveled at the inspiration all around us. I didn't ask anyone for money or practical assistance. That would happen later, I knew. But I did make one request. What I'd like to do now, I said, is I'd like to invite everyone to stand and join in singing God Bless America. People don't normally sing at fancy social gatherings in New York City. I could see some of the guests looking at each other, slightly uncomfortable for a second or two, but only a second or two. What I was suggesting must have fit the mood and the venue. This was a special night and a special location. Wasn't Federal Hall where our country began to define itself? Wasn't George Washington's Bible right over there? In ways that still ought to matter, this piece of public real estate helped us figure out who and what we are as a nation. I could hear feet shuffling. I could hear wooden chairs slide against a hard, dull floor. Then, in ones and twos and threes, people stood and smiled, and they started to sing, God Bless America, Land That I Love. I knew a little about the history of this stirring anthem. It was written by Irving Berlin, an immigrant not so different from me, who'd come to the United States from Russia at age 5. Berlin wrote the words and music in 1918 while serving in the U.S. Army at Camp Upton in Yaphank, New York, about 65 miles from Federal Hall. But he put the song aside because he didn't believe it fit well in Yip Yip Yaphank, a musical revue he was writing at the time. Not until 1938, with the rise of Adolf Hitler, did Berlin, who was Jewish, believe the time was right to resurrect the song. It was introduced by the singer Kate Smith on her radio program on Armistice Day. I'm not sure how many of the people in Federal Hall knew that story, but they understood the feeling behind it, which was impossible not to share. Their voices filled the grand domed hall. 1. Tell all. I didn't speak a word of English when I first arrived in America. Actually, I didn't speak a word of anything, unless you count goo goo gaga and a loud piercing wah. I was 6 months old. Born on a tiny Greek island, traveling across the ocean, the circumstances were different back then, but the concept was the same. Our dreams were what got us here. My parents never considered themselves poor or oppressed or downtrodden. Why should they have? They had ambition. They had hard work. They had each other. And they also had me, their first and only child, a brand new generation to carry their dreams forward. America was the land of opportunity. Lucky for us, we were here. That was the world I grew up in, 20th century immigrant New York. My life began with learning English, making friends, playing stoop ball, stickball, and Johnny on a pony on the sidewalks of West Harlem, obeying my parents and studying hard like a dutiful child should, climbing through public school and Greek school and all-boys Brooklyn Tech, learning to hustle, learning to lead, picking up side jobs along the way, buying my first car, getting my college diploma, almost, disappointing my parents by walking.